So as we feel that chin melting, the shoulders lengthening away from our head, we can feel this gentle movement and the energy shifting. Come back to your center as you're ready. Just lightly guide those shoulders back again. From here, take a nice deep breath and lift and perch that head right up on top of those shoulders. Now, as you're ready, you're just going to turn to one side and we're going to look as if we got something on our back and we're trying to see what it is. Take a look. And you're going to feel your jaw coming away from your shoulder here, across. And then nice and slow, let's look over the other side. And again, kind of deliberately looking over and kind of looking down as if we have something crawling on our shoulder. And once again, back into that center. Let's just lift and roll those shoulders just to create that space. Next time that they roll back, let the arms melt down. Let's give our wrists a little roll out, our fingers a little wiggle. Loosen up your forearms, especially if you guys are really connected to the computer all day. It's good to get a little extra love there. When you're ready, we're going to lift up off of our blocks. So if you are sitting on a block, lift up and loosen it out. And maybe you notice your legs want to come out further from you. Maybe they go straight instead. It's not how they settle in. Just notice what happened when you were high. And now that you're low, what gave you that space in your hips. When you're ready, we're going to place those hands down. We're going to push into the ground so we can feel them almost creating a bit of a lift of the torso, the body. And then keep your one hand guided down. Let's stretch up from the hip to our fingers and then start to draw over. Now remember though, we're still rooting that hip into the ground. So the outer edge of our hip is meeting into the mat. And the more it does that, the more we're able to lift the ribs from that hip. We pulled the belly button in. Let's reach up into the sky. Let that arm melt down. And again, remember, give yourself a little push, almost like you're lifting your weight up. Keep that length, reach. Now really press into that opposite hip as we reach over top. Because we don't want our weight to come with us. We rather want to stay grounded and then open. So maybe even pushing with the hand that stays onto the mat, opening at that rib cage. Let's go back to the center. Again, push the ground away. Let's do it right away as you're ready. Up and exhale all the way over. And stretch it back to your center. Just reset the shoulders down. And when you're there, up and then again over. Ribs from those hips. Go back into that center. Relax the shoulders, but press a little bit just to lengthen the torso. Don't worry about your legs, just bring your hands forward. Again, we're gonna keep that bum down as we start to guide out in front of our legs here. Sometimes we get pinches into the ankles. We're just breathing. What's feeling good? Let your head go heavy. Keeping those hips down, you might even need to use your hands to push your bum back towards the mat. That's perfect. Let's pull our belly button up and into the body. And then use your hands, walk yourself back into that nice tall sit again. So just get the shoulders back, bring your hands beside you and support yourself, lifting up, almost as if you're kind of reaching from the ground again. From there, again, take a nice deep breath. That left arm draws up and we draw over top. If you're like me and you're getting your lefts and rights mixed up all the time, it's okay. Just do one to the other. Let's go back to the center. Tall. And we again, exhale, shift it over. Grounded yet open. We go back to the center. Once again, give those shoulders that nice roll back. Just a little lift of our chest up again. From here, we're going to bring our opposite hand to our knee. We want to open our collarbone, so let's bring that arm behind us. We're going to very softly guide that shoulder back as we lightly look towards that shoulder. With your next inhale, pull your belly button in. Even use your hands a little bit to encourage yourself that tall sit again. And then see, do you have a little more space to your rotation? We're not forcing, we're feeling good here. Wait for your next inhale, and with your height, you're gonna come back to your center, and we're going right away. So bring that arm that was behind you now across you, and bring that arm back, and roots. Open that shoulder back so that your chest comes up into its center. And then again, as we exhale, we guide and twist. It's not what stops you, just what are you feeling? Breathe. We should enjoy twisting. It should feel good for the body. So with each inhale, we can find a little space as we sit taller, almost creating space between the vertebrae. And then as we exhale, we can create that movement, that rotation, cleansing the body. Let's go back to our center. Take a moment to pause it there. And then just like before, we're gonna grab our knees though, we'll lift our chest a little bit, and then we'll drop forward again. Those hips stayed extra grounded as we reached forward, root the head down, just trying to feel a little more of that energy rolling off the back of our head from our shoulders. The belly goes in, it pushes and widens our lower back for us, and it also gives us the support. Let's walk it up tall again. Once you're there, one more time, roll the shoulders back and just a little bit of a lift of the chest. Let's do it again, opposite hand to your knee. Exhale, give yourself that twist. Open up from the chest. Remember, as you look, don't feel like your neck is twisting. You don't need that movement there. Right away, let's come back to our center. We're tall and we're going. Other side, exhale, twist, wide shoulders and relax shoulders. We get back to our center again. Once you're ready, lift and roll that back. Now let's do a nice seated cat and cow. So we're gonna bring those legs up in front. And once they're there, just get them up in front and nice good distance away so that you feel comfortable. And you kind of have to push yourself up forward. Our feet are about hip distance apart. We're gonna grab at our knees or shins there. You're gonna lift your toes, sit up. And then as you exhale, let your back round out, bringing that lower belly down again. And maybe even feeling the arms stretching from our center. Then drop the feet, open the knees, and just a little bit of a lift of our chest forward. And you can use your arms, just make sure you're not going crazy with your skis. Let's go back to the center. And then again, exhale, lift your toes, drop it in. Feel the arms just coming all the way across the body. And inhale, lift it up. Let's do it again. Pause for as long as you want to and reach it through. As you come back into your neutral back, just bring your feet flat, rooting from there. Sit up tall again. So just a little lift of our chest. We're going to drop our knees to the side. And we're going to pull our feet right up into the center. So as they come in, tuck them in, but not so much that you feel your lower back trying to press behind you. There's always the middle. So as you sit up nice and tall, try to press those hips forward and then use that to lift your heart up forward. Now you'll notice that your knees pop up every time you push forward with those hips. That's okay. Either you're holding your toes or your ankles, give yourself that breath, and then very slowly guide your knees towards the mat. Start to root them out wide and down. Keep drawing the chest forward, the hips forward. It's as if we've got this cord and we're pulling it up from the crown of our head and always creating this beautiful space through each part of our body. Now relax. Give your knees a little flutter even. Loosen up a touch there. Now we're going to bring our feet a full step forward. So just full step up. Feet are still together though once you're done. This way, then we can bring ourselves forward a little bit. Don't worry about how far, that doesn't matter. Slide your hands up towards your toes. Now again, just a little bit of a draw forward with our head, our chest, but not so much that we lost our grounding, our hips. Slide your right hand to your knee, and then try to turn your sternum to that knee. So the center of our chest tries to go right towards that knee. And push into that with a little bit. Turn back to your toes. Left hand to your knee, then turn that sternum right towards that knee. Reaching from our head, we guide once again back into the center. Deep breath. And then nice, good inhale, come on up. Once you're there, again, lift and roll the shoulders back. We'll bring our legs back up and open them back again. Hip distance apart, grab your ankles. Let's do the same thing. So inhale, wait for your exhale, sink it back. Shifting it forward, open the knees a little bit, inhale. Now try not to squeeze too far back with your arms. And again, exhale, drop it down, lower belly. And inhale from the sternum. Let's just go back to our neutral back. Knees in, nice and tall again. Now we're gonna drop our knees to our right. Once you've dropped your knees to your right, bring your left knee behind your right foot. So it goes foot to the knee. My mom used to call it sitting pretty. So you wanna try to sit pretty. So from here, now we want our hips to look right in between our legs, almost right at our right shin here. Now notice how your left bum cheek is off the floor. Can we try to give it a little guide down? You'll notice that it really wants to pop up. So you're gonna notice that hip is really high. So we're gonna try to bring that hip down. We're not gonna force it there, but we're gonna see what'll happen as we try to get into that spot. Now from here, bring your left hand onto your right knee. And then from there, look over your left shoulder. And I want you to lift that bum cheek up from the mat and up. Nice and slow. Turn back towards your legs. And let's see if we can't even turn to look towards our left toes. You might have brought your arms over to help. And then again, left hand onto your right knee, shift back. Can we reach out of that left knee so we can almost feel this sensation coming up through our hip here? Then again, back to the center, try to drop your bum cheek down, and then rotating from there, we look towards our foot. Come back to your center, and when you're ready, we're gonna lift and flip the knees. So lean back, lift, and just flip the knees. I'm just gonna bring them forward so I'm facing the front again. You have pressure in your knee, should have maybe mentioned that. You have pressure in your knee, two things you can do. Try moving that foot out a little further, usually can help, or you can always lay a block underneath so it's not pulling so harsh. So again, we're encouraging now the right hip into our mat, grounding it over. Now let's go to the stretch. Right hand to the left knee, lift your hip, look. Kind of opening your chest and reaching out of that knee there. Turn back, nice and square, maybe even just a little extra before we do it again. Hand to the knee, back, and again, lift that cheek so we reach out of that center. And back. Sit, or we attempt, and turn. This is working your labrum. It's right inside that hip joint there, kind of helping holding that leg inside of our hips. It's a good thing. But we don't want it to get tight. Turn back to your center. We're gonna bring those arms back, bring that leg up, and stretch them out. Forward shake. Shake that away. Nice mobility inside of our hips here. When you're ready, we're going to sweep those legs around. We're going to come around in towards our table position. So once you're into your table, just give yourself the opportunity to root your hands down, fingerprints especially, grounding in, and then we're going to curl our toes under. Once you're ready from there, tuck your belly into the body, start to lift up the knees and shifting the head through. And this way we're in a fairly short stance, which might feel extra nice to get a little more from our hamstrings here. So let's give them push to the floor, down through those heels. Your head a little sway. Check your breath. As you get a nice little foundation, we're going to bend both of the knees and pushing down through those heels. Make sure your belly tucks up. From there, let's lift the head and we're going to take a nice soft walk towards the top of our mat. Now, once your feet are underneath your hips, remember we're trying to press down through the heels, maybe even lifting the toes a little bit. The softness in our knees keeps us supported. Put your hands onto your knees and then just come up until you feel your back is flat. So give our shoulders a little squeeze up onto our back. Again, as you're weighting your heels, let's bring it back a little bit. And then exhale, slide down your legs. Feel the lift at your hips. Just breathe. Then bend your knees and let's go with wide arms up to the sky. Nice inhale, stretch it up. And bring those hands down. Now remember, are we pressing our hips forward and our belly inward so we feel strong like a mountain? Let the arms relax. We're going to let the legs do that too. So a little bit of a release here. A little pedal out. Then we're going to have some fun with the balance today. So when you're ready, find that strap or scarf or whatever it is you're using. And then from here, we're going to bring our right foot inside that little basket. And then just bring it into your right hand. Now, of course, we're standing here. Let's get our foundation. So shoulders softly back. We're just going to give our hips just a little push forward. Spread your toes out onto the floor. Now, when we go to lift our right heel up, remember, don't lean to your side. So as we go to lift our heel, we want to stay right into the center with our body weight. Now from here, we're going to reach down with our left hand and grab our strap just a little lower. When you're ready, let's get it up there and lift. Now as we bring that leg forward, yeah, let your arms do some work. Those legs aren't light. Maybe you bring your right hand a little more forward just to help. Now can you feel your hips pushing forward still and your rib cage pulling back inward? Deep breath. Wiggles are good. We are living. And nice and slow. Just let the strap slide through the hands, bringing the leg down. Sometimes it happens beautiful and other times it doesn't. So we're just going to let that out. Now we're going to do a little bit more fun with it. So when you're ready, same side. Stay on your same side. We're going to go back to our grounding. Toes spread. Let's reach down with that left hand. When you're ready, lift. Push those hips forward. Bring that leg up. See about maybe reaching forward again. Push those hips forward. Squeeze that belly inward. If you'd like to try, let's see about bringing our nose to our knee. So we shift. And again, push your hips forward as you stand up. And let that go. Balancing is meant to be fun. Well, the whole practice is meant to be fun. So just giggle away with the wiggle. Let that leg out this time. And we're just going to give our shoulders that nice deserved roll and release. So bring your weight back to your feet. Just a little awareness. Spread out from those toes. Let's give our hips a little push forward or chest a little bit inward. Deep breath from there. Soften. Just a touch. Let's get one more breath. Just feel your weight pressing through your feet, rising through your head. And relax. Let's bring that strap onto the bottom of our left foot. Hook it in there and find your center. Once you're ready again, so we'll lift at the heel, but try not to lean off to the side. So pull in, reach down with your right hand. The belly button goes into the body as we start to guide up. So remember, our weight is in our supported heel. Our hips are pushing forward. They're not going to want to, so we're playing with it. Breathe. It's okay to wiggle. And nice and slow, try to drop it down. Give yourself a moment, actually wiggle. Move energy, that's what we're here for. So once you're there, ground again. Spread your toes, root in. When you're ready, shift your weight, hips forward. Here we go, let's try again. Reach and lift. Walk it up there. Bring your shoulders wide, just like we do when we're on the ground. We're pressing forward. Let's see, maybe we can add a little hold. And a reach. And a release. Sometimes it's really graceful like that. Take time. Give those shoulders just a gentle little roll back again. We're just going to set that off to the side and then give your wrists a little roll, especially if you were really hanging onto your strap during that. And then we're just going to reset. So set the shoulders back, feel them down from the ears, bring your chin towards your chest. Just like when we were sitting, let's add a little bit of that sway. Maybe it's nice and slow. Maybe you're pausing. The next time that chin melts into the chest, just pause it from there. Again, feel your rooting down to your heels. Let's use the next inhale, bringing those arms up. Pull the belly and lift those ribs from your hips. Let's push. Reaching out of those hips as we fold. Again, just helping to keep ourselves grounded into those heels. Come up halfway. Give your shoulders that squeeze up, just like your belly. Bending down into your knees. We're going to bring our hands down onto the mat. So shift your weight so your shoulders are right above your wrists, and then take your legs back into a nice good plank. When we're in plank, we're pushing out of our legs and we're pushing out of our hips, just like we do when we're standing. So take a moment. Can you feel that same sensation? Pushing from our hips and pressing out of our heels. Now use your knees. Bring your knees together down onto the mat. Bring your feet together, even as you drop to your toes. Now nice and slow, let's lower down onto the heart. Now squeeze your heels, squeeze your tush and lift your chest. Squeeze your shoulders and lift your hands. Lower back down and then squeeze your elbows again. Let's try to push up to our knees. And we're going to take those knees about as wide as our mat. And we're going to sit back towards those heels. Letting the hips melt back and the chest melt down. We're just a little cautious if our knees don't like how heavy this bend is. So just be kind there. What shows up? With the next breath, shift your weight forward. And then just like we did before, we'll curl the toes, bring your knees in. And then as you tuck your belly, lift back into that downward dog again. So stretch those heels down towards the mat, reaching them out. And again, push through your heels, shift forward. Keep pushing through your heels, even as you come forward into that plank. And once again, knees down, but this time we're going to swing those feet out to the side so that we can shift back to our bums again. Bring your legs forward and make sure you have your strap because we're gonna do a nice out hip open. So we're gonna lower down onto our back and bring those knees in towards your chest. Nice little breath here. Just kind of sway your back away. Nice little massage for our back. We're gonna grab our knees, bring them out from you, the length of your arms, and then just sway again here. You're gonna feel that right on your bony part of your lower back area. Notice what you're feeling there. If it feels like you're running over gravel, I would recommend doing this a little bit more often. And that will flatten out. It will soften out a bit, I promise. Just needs a little extra love. With that, from there, just bring your feet one at a time back to the mat. And then we're going to bring our shoulders under just so that we open up from the chest here, from the heart. Take a breath. Can we feel our hips rooting down just the same, nice and wide to our mat? We're going to bring that right knee in towards the chest, and then you're going to need your strap from there. You'll bring it onto the bottom of the foot, however that works. And nice, good breath. Let's bring that leg up. So just like when we were standing, we're going to slowly send that left leg out straight onto the mat. Push out of your heels, both of them. Now we're going to bring the strap into our right hand. So reach up and wrap the strap around your hands once. It saves your wrist from pulling the strap so tight. Now from here, remember, we're soft into our knee. We're a little guided out of our heel. We're going to let that leg start to drop out to the side. Now we got to keep pushing out of our left leg so that we're not going to lose that connection on our mat. So we want to make sure our heel is grounded. Our hip is still grounded. Our shoulder is still grounded. Remember, some days our legs are just really heavy. If you're having one of those days, let your leg go a little softer so that maybe it can lay down a little lower. Or your block. You could always set the block and see about drawing it up by the upper part of the leg. And it might, again, take some of the heaviness of that leg away. And it allows you to open without losing that left hip. Of course, we're breathing. And maybe our breath is a little bit longer so that we kind of encourage the body to find a little bit deeper space here as you go a little further into the tension. Notice, would you benefit from wrapping the strap around your hands so you're not using so much muscle strength to hold your leg up? Once again, bend into that knee, and that way then we can even reach over with our left hand to help bring that heavy leg up to our center. And then with our hips rooted, we're just going to sway our leg just a little side to side, loosen up. As you come back, you feel a little more relaxed, let's switch. So bring your left foot up into the strap, bring that right leg down. Just pause for a moment. There's no need to rush right into the stretch. Get the shoulders grounded again and the hips to be the same. And we're going to send that right leg out. Be a little kind to it. As you feel ready, you're going to push out of your heels. And then that left arm reaches up just to give the strap a wrap around that hand. Ground your opposite shoulders. And then as you're ready, we're going to draw that leg out and away. It is worth taking the time to add extra support if you want it. One thing we want to be kind of conscious of is how we're holding our strap. So if you notice that you are feeling your wrist right now, make sure that when you're holding your strap, you're not letting your wrist flop back and you're pulling from a really severe angle at your wrist. It's just something to think of. If you're maybe pulling that hard, well, maybe you don't need to add that much extra. We just think we do. Be a little kinder to yourself. As much energy is going through our left leg right now. We're guiding some of that energy down our right, keeping us grounded here. Shoulders as well. With one more breath, we'll feel that shifting. Remember, again, really easy as we bend into that knee and draw that leg up again. And just a nice little sway here. We loosen it all up. When you are ready, we'll then guide that foot back onto the mat. And we'll bring our right leg up again, just to give it that rooting at the hips. So rooting at our shoulders, bring your feet as wide as your mat and let your knees kiss together at the center. And just a nice breath again. Go a little heavier into the hips, a little wider into the shoulders. So let's take this final release even further, sending your legs out about as wide as your mat. Maybe even a little wider if you have the room for it. Shift those hips, lengthen your neck, and go back to your breath. Feel yourself release. Exhale, let it all go. And gently start to wiggle your nose. Maybe even pucker those lips and move around. And then just let that movement go to your fingers and your toes. Any other movement that might show up. We'll sway the head. From here, just guide your feet up as you bring one arm up by the ear. Gently guide yourself onto the side. Let's pause here. One breath, 10, it doesn't matter. Just giving ourselves another opportunity to relax before we get back to our day. Wait for your inhale. Guide yourself to your seat as you're ready. Whenever that might be, it's not about anything other than when you feel it. With a breath, we find space. You, yourself, can be the driving force to the change that we want to see in this world. Bring your hands into the heart to thank your body. Your energy. Thank you for sharing it with me. Namaste. Thank you. If anyone ever has any questions or anything, please feel free to stay on or even retrieve my email or even my phone number to text me for easier if you have any questions or anything. Thank you so much. Enjoy your day.
Thank you, Christina. That was wonderful.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christina.
Thank you.
Namaste, everybody.
Yeah, namaste. Hey, Jim. Hey, Laurie.
Hi, Michelle.
Bye.
So, hi, Laurie.
Hey,
Hi, Jim. Bye.
thanks a
Bye-bye.
lot.